I'm Mark Allen, Mr. Saltwater Tank, coming to you on behalf of saltwateraquarium.com. Congratulations, you moved your saltwater tank. You're done, right? Not so much. See, just because you move the tank doesn't mean the process is done. In fact, in a lot of ways, you're starting over. And I'm going to talk about that later in the episode. But once you've moved or upgraded your saltwater tank, even though it seems like that process is done for the moment, the first thing to do is to keep your eyes open for opportunity. And this step actually happened to me, and it happened right here in this fish room. Sometimes, despite all the best planning and research that you do, until you actually get into the project, you miss opportunities. You simply don't see things until you're in the middle of it. And that's what happened right here in this fish room. So as I was adding on to the house and building out the fish room, I figured I'd put up green board and FRP panels. But I said, I don't really like that. Let's do some more research. And when I did, I found these white PVC walls that I ended up really liking. I had to research them, talk to the company, understand what it was going to take to install them, and then get them freighted across the country. This ended up backing up my project about a month. Not fun, but I said, look, I'm going to be here for 10, 15 years. 1 month in the grand scheme of things, especially 1 month to give me years and years of worry-free maintenance on the walls, no worries about bubbling or any of that stuff. It's worth it. So if you get into your project, you put your tank in place and you go, I don't like it here, I think it'd make more sense over there, and that means you gotta move some walls around or run some pipes through some wall, run some electrical. I know that's gonna take some time, but slow down and use that opportunity. Oh, by the way, the I'm gonna get to it approach, 99.9% of the time doesn't happen. Case in point, see the control panel behind me? I was like, okay, I just gotta get some basic elements of it mounted, get the system up and rolling, and then, I'm gonna get to the cord wrangling and tidying it up. Yeah. This board sat there for a year before I got around to doing the cord wrangling. So as you're getting your system set up, certainly don't put everything on hold until you get the cord wrangling done, but make a list of what you want to get done, and then, look, knock it out. Don't wait a month, 2 months, in my case, a year, to get some things like cord wrangling done. I'm gonna get to it, doesn't work. Once your new system is up and running, or your old tank has moved to the location and you got it set up again, one pill that can be hard to swallow for reefers is that your new system very likely isn't gonna act like your old system. What worked in your old tank may not work in your new tank. Livestock that was bulletproof in your old system might be finicky and not live at all in the new system. For example, my old 90-gallon tank, it would grow clams like nobody's business. Chalices, they would die every single time. Why? Couldn't tell you. Well, then I get to my 225, and it couldn't keep a clam to save its life, but it would grow chalices. In fact, every tank I've had since my 90-gallon tank, I can't keep a clam in. I've tried small ones, big ones, feeding them, captive bred ones, different species, doesn't matter. So what worked in your old tank may not work in your new tank. What do you do about it? Start testing. Yes, I said testing. Why are we testing? We're testing to learn our new tank's personality. See what worked in the old tank likely is going to work in the new tank. If your old tank was happy at 10 DKH, it's not uncommon that your new tank's going to be happy at 8 DKH, even if you use the same equipment, the same rock, and heaven forbid, the same sand. So when you start testing and tracking your results, then you can see what is going to work in this new tank, and you learn that new tank's personality so you can give it what it wants. And as I said earlier in the series, don't be surprised if your tank gets upset with you. Dead coral, yes, it happens to me. Dead fish, fish gets sick. All of a sudden, this can happen because you've moved or upgraded your tank. High nitrates, high phosphates, that can especially happen if you're using the same rock. So be prepared for a little bit of a bumpy ride, but the more you test and the more you track your results, the more you're gonna know what's gonna make this new system tick, so you can give it what it wants, and everyone's happy. In addition to your water testing, you get to test with corals. Once you get your new tank set up, or your old tank set up again, you want to put some starter corals in there to see what happens. Use them as guinea pigs, canary in a coal mine. Whenever I get my tank up again, or my new system set up, I'm going to put in some hardy corals, like these candy canes over here, hardy SPS, some Duncans, something that I know it's going to take a beating and it's likely going to be okay. I'm going to put them in the tank and I'm going to see what happens. Leave it for 2 weeks, see how they respond. Now, if one of those corals that you put in dies, it doesn't mean your tank isn't ready. Put another one of those frags in, another one of those corals, and see what happens. It may be that your tank doesn't like that coral. So part of your learning your tank's personality is testing the water parameters and testing with corals, seeing what works, making your confidence grow in that tank. Then you want to bring in your rare fish, your rare coral, and your prized gems. If you've been paying attention to this video series, you've heard me say plenty of times to slow down and take your time. And this is particularly true when it comes to adding fish into your new system or your old system that you've moved to your new location. One thing I've found with client systems is that the most successful systems are the ones that start slowly. This is particularly true in the fish area. Adding fish in, take your time, meter them in. Even this means keeping your old tank set up or holding tanks set up in your house for an extended period of time. With my 987-gallon tank, I had a fish system downstairs that was holding fish that were going to go in this system, and I kept it up and running for a full year. Why? Because there are fish that I wanted to get into this tank and some of the fish that I wanted to put in from my old system, like my black tang, well, I wanted the new fish to get established, have a chance to grow before I bring those old fish back in here. So again, take your time, especially when it comes to adding your fish. Write down your fish list, see what you want. If you know you have some interactions where you need to get fish established in the new system before you bring your old fish in, take the time to do it. Look, it is no fun maintaining two separate systems, but it's going to be worth it to curb fish aggression or for you to get a chance to put a fish in the tank that you really want and give it its best chance forward by having it be one of a few fish in there. Take your time, it's going to pay off in spades over time, and you're going to particularly enjoy that upgrade because you know that you're going to have success into the future. All right, there you go. There's my video series on moving and upgrading your tank. Remember, if you're going to move a tank, it's totally worth it. The only real reason to move a saltwater tank is to upgrade it and make that upgrade worth your time. Don't go from a 90 to a 120. There's nothing wrong with a 120, but the point is make that upgrade worth the effort. Go from a 90 to a 180 or a 210 to a 1,000-gallon tank. Whatever it is, you get the point. Make it worth your effort. Take the time, look at things, how can you upgrade your system and really make it a jam-up system? Because look, moving and upgrading a saltwater tank isn't a lot of fun. It's not particularly easy, but when you take your time, breathe, really plan it out, and then be able to pivot, and when you see an opportunity, take it, it's worth it in the long run. Till next time, I'm Mark Kelly and Mr. Saltwater Tank, coming to you on behalf of saltwateraquarium.com. Happy upgrading, happy moving, enjoy those new systems, and I'll catch you in the next episode and the next video series.